So then to keep up with this PSV team was, especially in the first half, was good to see. I saw some good performances from individuals as well. Many of them made for the first time 90 minutes, so that's also positive. But yeah, if we end up 1 or 2, if you can choose, you prefer to end up 1, but it doesn't matter for the teams you face. And the end result is that you always check, okay, who do we face? And we see 3 strong French teams and 1 Portuguese team. So the end result is also that there are hardly any easy opponents to face if you end up 1st, 2nd, or 7 or 8.
I want to talk about the building blocks of those young players you was talking about, because they say in those type of experiences they may take more, even though they were experiencing defeat tonight. What did you see in terms of some of those young players that were thrusted into an intense environment?
It was an intense game because PSV always takes the risk to play man-mark all over the pitch, and they're not afraid to press you high and like I said, man-mark. So then you don't have a lot of time. We try to do the same as well, press them high also, so you get an exciting game where we saw 5 goals. But apart from that, I think there were a few of our players that had a good performance against this team, and one midfielder that made his debut on this level particularly stood out for me. If you look at, I think in 6-7 months, I'm not even sure if he played one time 90 minutes already, because he comes back from an injury. So to play a game like this on this level is very pleasing to see.
Credit to James McConnell in that as well. Overall, I think I'll just ask you just one more about the red card. I didn't see it from your vantage point. I only saw it up here in terms of a replay. But in a week where I'm very cautious about the conversations around referees, I just wanted to know what your thoughts were on the red card.
I was thinking, what do you mean within a week? But you mean Arsenal probably last week, yeah. I don't think. I haven't seen it back, but I don't think there's a lot to complain about the red card. What was a bit more frustrating, if I have to say something about the referee, because you asked me, that was the second goal where he was hindering, is that the right word, Wata, and then Wata got a slide knock, which is normally not enough for a foul. But after being in the way as a referee, maybe you can then say, okay, let's give a free kick, because then I haven't had any impact on the game. And the third one we conceded out in the 47 minutes, and I saw after 45 minutes the fourth official saying that it was 4 minutes of added time. But yeah, in the end it's about us having to defend that better. But the red card, I don't think we can argue that, but I haven't seen it back.
Nicely done, Arne. I don't really want to talk about referees, but if you ask me, I'll get a couple of criticisms.
He's great, isn't he?
He's impressive.
He's great.
He's a sharp cookie. So Liverpool beaten, but top of the pile. On Liverpool tonight, it's a defeat, only the 3rd of the season. It obviously doesn't matter, they finished top anyway.
Yes.
And he's had a chance to look at a few players that otherwise aren't getting much of a look in.
He's not put a foot wrong, that fella.
No.
He's a great listen. And I've got to say, for somebody that's maybe not his original native tongue, he's got wonderful use of our vocabulary, hasn't he?
He has.
He's brilliant. He's been a breath of fresh air. He's a great listen. And his team, when he's not doing the talking, his team are doing the talking for him. Yeah. I mean, with the greatest respect, he earned these stripes and leaving a lot of the boys at home. Yeah. They've got a big game at the weekend, Bournemouth, and it gave him an opportunity to give some fresh faces an opportunity. He'll be disappointed to lose the game. Of course he will. Nobody likes to lose a game. But the work was done prior to tonight.
Yeah, it was. And credit to PSV, of course, who cemented their playoff place. They're one of Arsenal's possible opponents. For Liverpool, Karen, Monaco, Brest, Paris Saint-Germain or Benfica, who've won at Juventus tonight. There's some tasty ones there.
Yeah, I think the final 2 that you mentioned are probably like, Benfica, they're tricky, and you say PSG, obviously, Barcola again, back on form the last couple of games, and we can see when they turn it on, they're extremely dangerous. And it wasn't being disrespect to the other 2 that you mentioned in Brest and Monaco. But look, Liverpool are flying at the moment, aren't they? But I probably wouldn't want to have Paris or Benfica.
And that's a little way off, obviously, last 16 after the playoffs, and they're spinning a lot of plates. Liverpool, as Ali mentioned, Bournemouth at the weekend, Spurs in the Carabao second leg semi-final next weekend.
Which they've got to come
next
back
midweek.
From.
Yes.
Which I think they will. I mean, I think the way he's... I mean, you can price in that defeat tonight because of exactly what Ali was saying in terms of how they've earned it. But the ability to get yourself in that position, so when you go away, when you go and play Bournemouth in the form that they're in at the moment, how athletic they are, how intense they are, and you've got yourself in a position where you can actually rest players in the Champions League for that. In his first season in the Premier League, in English football, taking over from Jurgen Klopp is remarkable, really. And also just to see, you're always surprised at how Liverpool develop these kids, and they come and show the number that they bring through.
Yeah.
Arsenal, to be honest, the same. The number of kids that come through, it's very encouraging.
It is, and it's a good business model as well as a good football plan, isn't it? We saw in those games to come for Liverpool, and we'll never know really perhaps how the rested players might gain advantage from that, the likes of Everton in the derby and Manchester City, as well as Bournemouth at the weekend. Big Premier League games as well as cup games for Arne Slot's Liverpool. Last short break from us, after which everything else, and there was plenty of it.